Hi everybody, welcome to this video titled Exploring Power Automate as part of the Business Central Pre-Sales Workshop. My name is Craig Kreskis and I am a Partner Solution Architect here at Microsoft. And I just want to say thank you for investing time to learn more about this integrated experiences with Power Automate and Business Central. Now, in this video, I've got 3 scenarios I want to share with you on how you can explore and get business process automation working with using Business Central and Power Automate. The first scenario is going to be an action-based flow. The second will be just how you can set up approvals. And then the third is an event that will take place in Business Central. In this case, we're going to block customers. How can we set up some automated flows based on those events or those triggers? Let's begin with the action-based flow. And so in this goal of this session is just to show you how to leverage the templates that come inside of Business Central. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a flow inside of Business Central. We'll then navigate to Power Automate to show you how we created that. We'll then go ahead and run the flow, and we'll see how that impacts based on the communications that were disseminated to Microsoft Outlook. So I'm going to begin by opening up my Business Central tenant. And here in my demonstration environment, I'm going to open up customers. And over on the right side, under more options, what you're going to be looking for under the ellipsis is this automate, and in particular, Power Automate. And you see you have a couple of different options, but the beauty of this is it's set up all inside of the container of Business Central. And I'm going to create an action-based flow. And notice with these templates that are built in, it automatically allows me to select the templates and get the configuration going quickly. In the first scenario, I'm just going to go ahead and create a summary email about open invoices that are inside of Business Central. So I'll go ahead and select on that template. Now, all you need to do is wait for the green check marks to appear to assume those permissions have been approved, and then select Next. I will then type in recipients who we will notify. So this will be the team members, maybe in the finance team, who will be notified of this report. And then I'll go ahead and create the flow. And notice that that has been created successfully. And again, the beauty of that and the convenience is it's right inside the structure of Business Central. But I want to show you when we open up Power Automate what that looks like. So I'll navigate over to, again, powerautomate.microsoft.com. Under My Flows, you will see that flow that you just created, and that's a summary email about the open invoices. Again, you can see everything about the details of this flow, and you can also go in and edit. And again, you can click on any one of these tiles, whether it says manual or get record, find the records. And again, you can see how much effort was put in to simplify the getting started process of using Power Automate. If I scroll down, you can see here if I select on the send email, again, all of the setup is taken away or has been automated for you. And again, you could certainly go ahead and update these as you want, but you could see some of the dynamic texts like the body display name, the include invoices. All of those parameters are being passed into the body of this particular email. Now that we've set it up and we've confirmed in Power Automate, let's go ahead and do a demonstration of it. I'm going to go ahead and run that flow inside of Business Central. We'll open up a customer. Again, you can choose any customer you want. Up in the top, I'll select on Automate. And then notice I probably could shorten this description or this title, if you will. I left it by default. And then on the right-hand side, again, inside the body of Business Central, I will go ahead and set up a note and then run the flow. So I'll put in a note here to review the information. I'll enter in how many days back I want to go for this report. And then you go ahead and run the flow, choose done. And now if we go ahead and select back, just come to the home page here, you can see again, I ran that report and the results will be on display inside of Microsoft Outlook. So let's go ahead and open up Outlook from within Business Central. I'll navigate to my inbox and notice again, you get a beautiful table representation of those open invoices for the last 300 days. But if you want to continue that demonstration further, you'll notice here I'm highlighting where I can click on that link and it'll bring me to the customer record or the customer card. And if you want to continue even further, this is up to you. And in terms of your style of demonstrations, if you want to open up the information pane, which I typically have suppressed, but you can see a lot more details here if I wanted to click into the customer balance, outstanding orders, or invoices. And then that is the demonstration around the action-based flow within Business Central. Next, I want to talk about approvals. So let's go through the process here where we're going to create an approval for sales orders. Then there is one step. You need to make sure that you do set up the approval hierarchy inside of Business Central. And then the following two steps will initiate an order and then the manager will approve it. Those are the two demos. So first two steps are on setup. And the setup begins by opening up any sales order. From here, you'll notice at the top, I am navigating to Power Automate. And as I mentioned, we're going to do an approval flow. Same thing as the previous step, where I have these templates that are built in and they surface inside of Business Central. In this case here, we're just going to choose the first response. But if you prefer to require everybody to approve sales orders, you might choose that template. On the first response, same thing. I want to make sure that first I can change the flow name. And then second, I want to make sure I have all those green check marks on the right side. I'll choose next. And then in this case here, I want the title of the email that'll be sent out for the approval request. And I'll create the flow and select OK. And that is all you need to do just to create the approval for a sales order. Again, it's just gotten so much easier. There is one step, as I mentioned, that is we need to create the user approval setup in Business Central, which is logical because you want to make sure that whoever is initiating, that there's an approval or a hierarchy to approve it. Now, you can go and navigate to Approval User Setup. I have mine bookmarked on the home page. I'll select New. And from here, I'll choose my admin. That's going to be the power user, someone who will have unlimited approvals. And then I will choose Alan Steiner as my initiator. And then from there, under the approval ID, you select the admin. So essentially what I've done is Alan documents get approved by that individual. And that's all you need to do for the user setup inside of Business Central. Now let's go through the demo. And I'll show you how the agent will initiate a sales order, and then I'll log in as the manager who approves it. So here you see again, this time I'm using the different personas that come with the demo environments. In this case here, I'm logged in as Alan Steiner. You can see the icon on the top right corner as well as the good afternoon. And I'll just use the quick actions on the home page. I'll choose my customer datum. And then I'll leverage Copilot to add the sales line item. So I'll just go ahead and describe what I want. In this scenario, I just need 2 orders, or I need to order 2 chairs. I'll select generate and then insert. And from here, I'll go ahead and send out the approval request. And notice that status has changed from open to pending approval. Next, what I'm going to go ahead and do, and I'll go ahead and log in as a manager who will approve that. So you see here, I'm logged in now as Craig, as the admin user. And I can certainly approve it right within Business Central, but I wanted to show you some of the automation and Power Automate where we're emailing individuals to notify them there is some attention required. I could link to that document. And you can see here was the original request. Here's the approver. And once I've done my research as that manager, I can go ahead and put in comments and approve the document. So again, we created the sales order approval inside of a sales order. We edited that user approval setup, and then we showed in the demonstration how you can initiate the sales order, and then a manager goes ahead and approves it. And you could log back in as the end user. Here I am back as Alan Steiner to see the sales order, and you'll notice that that document now has been released. And then I would go through the normal process of posting the document and so on here. So I hope that gives you a sense of all the steps around the approval process and using Power Automate and Business Central. The third and last section is an automated flow based on a trigger, based on an event that happens in our organization. And so for this scenario, I'm going to go ahead and create the automated flow. I'm going to go ahead and then create a new customer, and we're going to block that customer from doing business. And then you'll see the cascading or the water flow reaction of how we post that in a Teams channel. And I'll take it one step further if you want to get a little more complex, where you might want to add an email notification to those recipients. So I'll begin here inside of Business Central. I select on the customers. Again, the nice thing is when I go ahead and navigate to Power Automate, it's keeping me inside of the container or inside of Business Central. We're going to go ahead and notify a team channel when a customer is blocked. Same thing, we'll make sure those green check marks appear. I can change the flow name from whatever is default from the template. And then if you are doing this, I need to have a Teams, and then I need to have a channel. So in this case here, I'm going to update sales, and I'll go ahead and create the flow, and that has been updated accordingly. The next step would be then to create a new customer. And then again, I will go ahead and block that customer. Select customers. Doesn't matter if you select on a B2B or B2C. I will type in a new customer name and then go ahead and close that out. And now you can see here in my list, under the Show More, if you are new to Business Central, you know that we do suppress some fields, and you can certainly control that in your demonstration environment. And under Blocked, I want to go ahead and select Blocked for all documents. When I go ahead and close that out and I navigate to Teams, you'll notice here under my Teams channels that I have under Sales, you can see that there's transactions with the customers now blocked. And if I want additional details, I can get to that from within Teams. So it'll open up and present the customer card inside of Microsoft Teams. Now I'm going to do one more step, and that's just for you to build upon that Power Automate template. That's just to add an email. Navigating to powerautomate.microsoft.com. Again, select flows. You'll see here all the flows that we've seen in this video. And I want to go ahead and edit the flow around the customer who has been blocked. You can select on the tile to see all of the parameters and the pre-built settings that came with the template when you created that inside of Business Central. Same thing with posting that card inside of the chat. Notice by putting in the team and then also the channel, that got passed through into these parameters. I'm going to go ahead and add an action. And on that action, I want to go ahead and send an email via Outlook. And from here, I'll go ahead and determine who are the recipients. I'll add a subject. I'll use the dynamic texts here to enter in the information. And then when I go ahead and hit save, that's all I need to do. Now, if I come back into this customer here, for example, I'm going to open up a customer that I will block. So we've blocked Microsoft, and from doing business, we'll navigate to Outlook. And now you see the Outlook email that was sent. And then just like we had earlier, I'll open up Microsoft Teams. And again, we're showing you where in that Teams channel that customer has been blocked also. So in this scenario, I show you how to create an automated flow, then created a customer who we blocked, and how you can announce or use that business process automation with Power Automate to update individuals in both Teams as well as Microsoft Outlook. And that concludes this video on how to work with Power Automate in Business Central. Again, we talked about a couple of different scenarios that you can use to automate certain business processes and events that are happening, and you do that all inside of Business Central. I want to say thank you so much for your time. Again, my name is Craig, and I look forward to seeing you again on a video real soon.